Hello, Richland 2 family, and welcome to our annual State of the District address. No, we're not gathered in the conference center at R2I2 finishing up what is always a delicious breakfast, although we wish we could have given everybody watching the premiere of the State of the District some popcorn, but technology hasn't quite caught up with the way to make that happen. We appreciate you taking the time to watch the State of the District even without us bribing you with food. Whether you view the premiere on Thursday, November the 19th at 7 p.m. or at another time after that, you are personally taking part of the continuing of a very important Richland 2 tradition. As we prepare for the taping of the State of the District, the importance of tradition in the midst of many unknowns did not go unnoticed. So thank you for helping us to celebrate our district and our traditions. A silver lining of the virtual format for the event is that a much larger section of the Richland 2 family can take part. We wanted to give a special welcome to our employees, students, and parents who may be joining us for the very first time. In a few minutes, you will hear from our board chair, our event co-host, the Columbia Chamber of Commerce, and the district's great friend, Brigadier General Milford Beagle Jr., the commanding general at Fort Jackson. But first, I want to touch on the district's areas of focus for the 2021 school year. Even though we find ourselves in the midst of a global pandemic, we remain committed to striving for excellence and to pursuing the pinnacle of being premier. To keep us moving forward, I identified 6 goals for the school year, and they are: manage COVID-19, meet the technology needs of our students, impact legislative issues, ensure members of the Richland 2 family feel valued, address systems of inequity, and address the learning opportunity gap. The work on these goals, as well as the focus on our district initiatives such as employee recruitment and retention, 100% college and career-ready students, and the social-emotional health of our students and employees, continue to operate under the framework of the key tenets of our strategic plan: our core values, learning, character, community, and joy; our principal practices, innovation, data, diversity and inclusion, partnerships and communications; and our universal goals of culture and environment, talent, and achievement. Now that you know our areas of focus, I'm excited to invite you to come along with me as we tour the district for an up-close and personal look into the state of the district. While I head out to our next location, let's hear from the chair of our board of trustees, the Columbia Chamber of Commerce, and Brigadier General Beagle. You will also view some highlights of the accomplishments of our students, employees, and schools from the 2019-2020 school year.
Hello, I'm James Manning, your board chair for the Richland School District Two Board of Trustees. The Board of Trustees is extremely proud to represent each and every one of you. While we are going through this unique time in history, we want to assure you that our district continues to adapt, stay flexible, and move forward on our pathway to becoming premier. As you will see in the stories that follow, our teachers, staff, students, and community partners have shown great resilience and creativity as we have faced the challenge of COVID-19. The Board of Trustees is grateful to all of you, and we are inspired by the ways you have all risen to the opportunities presented to you. We see you, and we recognize the extraordinary measures you are all going to in order to provide the students of Richland 2 with the best possible experience. We are all in this together, and your board looks forward to continuing to hear from you as we stay engaged with one another to ensure that the state of our district remains strong. On behalf of your board, thank you.
Good evening. I'm Carl Blackstone, President and CEO of the Columbia Chamber of Commerce, and I'm delighted to be with you for the 2020 State of the District. Now more than ever, it's important that we focus on education. Tomorrow's workforce, today's economic development, all depend on a trainable, talented group of young kids. So with that, it's important that we have a strong relationship between the district and the business community. So on behalf of the 1,200 partners that we have here, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you to the teachers, the administrators for working so hard. Let me turn it over to Henry Baskins to talk a little bit about the programming that we do with Richland 2.
Thank you, Carl. And I too would like to express my appreciation to Dr. Davis and his team for the wonderful work they do in educating our students in Richland School District 2. Education is very important, and preparing for the future is extremely important. That is why the Columbia Chamber, Richland 2, and Midlands Technical College formed the Midlands Youth Apprenticeship Program. This program allows students to earn money, get educated for a profession, while still going to high school. It is a wonderful program and it has shown great success. We know that this program will continue and advance, and the students have gotten experience they would not necessarily have had. We are very appreciative of Nephron Pharmaceuticals, LTC Health Solution, and Prisma Health. They are the employers that hire the students in the MYA program. Another partnership we have is a partnership between Fort Jackson, Richland School District 2, and the Columbia Chamber. Richland School District 2 educates 3,500 students from military families. Also, a congratulations goes out to Richland School District 2 for receiving a $1 million grant to educate these students. Richland School District 2 is truly a premier school district. Congratulations to Richland School District 2, to the students in the MYA program, to the employers for what they do for this community. Thank you very much and stay safe.
Hello, I'm Brigadier General Biggs Beagle, the Commanding General of Fort Jackson, South Carolina, home of the Army's largest basic training center. It's always an honor and a privilege to provide a few brief remarks at the state of the district. As I've stated many times before, COVID-19 has changed how we do things, but it won't change what we do. I'm glad to see Richland 2 continuing to move forward, safely, deliberately, and in a prudent manner, despite COVID-19. Education in our school district is always a priority to me and for Fort Jackson. 3 things that connect the military family to a community are healthcare, education, and spouse employment. In the education arena, Richland 2 has continued to blaze a path towards excellence. And the thing that I admire the most about Richland 2 and our Richland 2 teammates is that you all realize the pursuit of perfection is your daily goal. Your designation as a Purple Star District and the connection of our team, from our liaisons to Dr. Davis and myself, are invaluable. Dr. Davis and I maintain an open and continual dialogue, and we've done so for over 2 years. You learn who your teammates really are when things get tough and when times get hard. Our communication and transparency between Fort Jackson and Richland 2 has enabled us to remain in lockstep with each other, allowed us to walk in parallel, and preserve each other's decision space. So for being great teammates and great team players in hard times, I really want to thank all of you. You know you have a great partnership when even your mottos are in alignment. Our motto is victory starts here. And as you know, your motto is premier starts here. Imitation and replication is the greatest form of flattery. And we believe in our motto, and we truly believe in yours. We will never ask our district, can you? We will expect that you can, and in my 2 years as the Commanding General of Fort Jackson, Richland 2 has never let us down. Our expectations are high because our stakes are high. Fort Jackson is our largest training center in the Army and the Department of Defense. Over half of our Army trains at Fort Jackson every year, to the tune of 50,000 soldiers per year and 1,000 per week on average, either coming or going. Even at the onset of the pandemic, we didn't have an option to stop, close, or pause. We trained to protect our great nation and the citizens of our nation like all of you. So despite fighting a threat that we can't see, we must fight. And this is what you expect us to do. Since the pandemic started about 7 months ago, maybe a little bit more, we've trained and deployed over 17,000 soldiers from Fort Jackson, with only 2 positive reaching another destination. This sounds great, and it is, but we had an undefeated record up until August. Our positivity rate has barely topped 2% over the same time frame. You can take some credit for this. You see, when a soldier can focus, when a family can focus, this puts us in alignment with regard to executing our mission at a high level. When a soldier doesn't have to worry about their child's education, and when a spouse doesn't have to worry about the predictability of that education and can see consistency in words, deeds, and actions, our team can focus on their mission. This is what you and all of your efforts enable us to do. We do what we do well, even under COVID-19 conditions, because of all of you. We appreciate you and thank you for the destination that you pursue, which is perfection. Your approach to getting there, deliberate, thoughtful, and empathetic, and for keeping us in mind along that journey. Victory starts here, but it can't start here unless Premier starts there. Thank you.
Welcome to Ram Clutches. No, the district is not the owner of Ram Clutches, but we are an extremely grateful partner with this premier company. In pursuit of helping all of our students graduate college or career ready, Richland 2 strives to provide them with real-world opportunities that prepare them for their next steps in life. One of the ways that we do that is by offering apprenticeships through several of our premier partners. In coordination with Columbia Chamber of Commerce and Midlands Tech, we offer Midlands Youth Apprenticeship opportunities at Nephron Pharmaceuticals and Prisma Health. Today, though, we're going to get a glimpse inside the apprenticeship offered by Ram Clutches. 3 years ago, Ram was the first company to sign on as an apprenticeship partner with Richland 2. During this unusual year, where everything that we do has been affected by COVID, Ram has become quite innovative and flexible in the ways that they are providing this apprenticeship. Let's take a look at how Blythewood High School student Kendall Sheely has been able to meet the obligations of virtual learning while still working at Ram.
Pat Norsha is the operations manager at Ram Clutches.
Ram Clutches, we're a manufacturer of clutches for performance automobiles, and that can range from a high-performance street car like a Mustang or a Camaro or a Corvette or a Dodge Challenger to moving up into the entry-level racing categories from drag racing to a little bit of oval track racing.
Kendall Sheely is a student from Blythewood High School working at Ram Clutches.
At Ram's Clutches, I assemble boxes, I assemble parts, and I count out different parts. Yes, this is an internship for me. Right now I'm really learning how to do most of this stuff. I haven't quite been at the level of like a full job.
Sheely may not be at the level of full-time employment as of yet, but that's the very nature of internship and apprenticeship opportunities. And as we will learn, the idea usually requires an open mind and adjustments on all parties involved.
Well, a few years back, we started an apprenticeship program with Richland 2 and had great success having a variety of students come in and work part-time and then go back to school, drive back or get transported back to Blythewood, Ridgeview, Spring Valley. And the program worked very, very well, but with the current pandemic situation and not having in-person school, it kind of turned the program a little bit sideways. So we paused the program early in the pandemic, but when school resumed, we really felt like we wanted to restart the program, and the opportunity came up with Kendall to restart the program and have her do some virtual schooling. And then when we kind of looked at all the different scenarios of the hours she could work and what she was available, it just made sense to have her work a shift in the morning and then do her virtual schoolwork here, and then work a short shift in the afternoon at the end of the day.
The drive towards employment is a great opportunity for any student. To get the program going again, Ram Clutches provides Sheely a quiet place to log into her Blythewood High School classes. Sheely is able to attend her classes, and where it fits into her schedule, she has the ability to gain practical work experience at Ram Clutches.
This allows me to have an insight to what I want to do in the future. It helps me know what I do want to do, what I don't want to do. It gives me some experience on how to have a good work ethic and have a job and have a busy schedule. I think it does give me an advantage because I've had some experience doing a job while others haven't. A lot of my friends haven't had this type of opportunity, and I'm really glad to have this.
Ram Clutches and students like Kendall Sheely illustrate the efforts of Richland School District 2 to prepare students to graduate college or career ready. Richland 2 continues to look for these types of opportunities, and according to Pat Norsha, the opportunities are out there.
Most manufacturing companies have a lot of light assembly and entry-level positions that need to be taken care of, and students really fill that need. And then on the flip side of that, the student gets a lot of hands-on work experience, so they kind of are maturing in the process of learning tools, how to work, what employers expect, so they can kind of help them make their choices as they move on, postgraduate and what they want to do with their life.
COVID-19 definitely took all of us by surprise last spring, but one thing that has not been a surprise is the creativity, tenacity, and dedication shown by our Richland 2 teachers, administrators, and staff. After successfully starting school in an all-virtual format, we are now 2 weeks into phase 2 of our back-to-school plan. So I want to update you on the measures that we've taken to keep all of our Richland 2 family as safe as we possibly can. As you can see, our classrooms has been rearranged to allow for social distancing. In classes where social distance of 6 feet can't be obtained, plexiglass and sneeze guards are being utilized. Hand sanitizing stations have been installed in all of our classrooms. Every school has received additional supplies to assist with cleaning, sanitation, social distancing, and other safety measures to keep our schools safe. We are also providing face masks for all who need them. Additional PPEs provided to employees based on their job duties. Service Solutions, our district custodial service provider, has also developed a comprehensive plan to ensure that our schools are clean, sanitized, and safe. This plan includes adding additional staff to clean touch points throughout the day and the use of electrostatic sprayers to sanitize after staff and students have left for the day. I encourage all of you to take a look at the district's website on a regular basis, where you will find helpful tools like the COVID dashboard, a parent toolkit, and a staff toolkit, which have all of our safety measures and monitoring information. COVID has definitely brought about different challenges for us, but with all things that we do in Richland 2, I am proud of the way that our teachers and staff are rising to the challenge. Even in these uncertain times, I'm grateful that our tradition of excellence and providing a premier learning experience for our students continues. Now, it is my honor and privilege to introduce Richland 2 Teacher of the Year, Trafina Cuffey, a 6th grade teacher at Muller Road Middle School. Ms. Cuffey teaches science in the Leadership Academy at Muller Road. Ms. Cuffey believed teaching was the last thing that she wanted to do until she started tutoring while in graduate school. She took her training in scientific research into the Program of Alternative Certifications for Educators, also known as PACE. Ms. Cuffey is now entering her 7th year of teaching. Her greatest joy is getting to know her students, what she often calls her village. I'll meet you at our next location after you hear from Ms. Cuffey and view a few more highlights.
Hi, My name is Trifina Cuffey, and I'm a 6th grade science teacher at Muller Road Middle School, and I'm this year's District Teacher of the Year. Every year, I begin my first day of school with what I call our class creed. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. After combing through the summer deluge of e-learning strategies, websites, games, pop culture activities, suggestions, tips, tricks, etc., I figured I was ready for school. You know, the first 2 days. The first day comes around, and I start with my usuals, my class expectations, and even the million words letter that I send out to parents asking them to share about their child in a million words or less. They enjoy that. Usually, I prefer to get to know my students as the year goes by rather than the repeated get-to-know-you activities. But this year, I knew I needed to help students with a sense of self as we started this new way. This short activity called Who Are You was simple. Using a blank head outline, students wrote down the positive ways they wanted to be perceived and X'd out the assumptions anyone made about them. They then wrote a letter to encourage themselves, focusing on the ways that they wanted others to see them. Kennedy wanted to be perceived as an astrophysicist in training, and Jordan as an engineer. Deasia didn't know what her name meant, but she wanted it to mean caring, successful, beautiful, and helpful. Josh wanted to be seen as an honorable man. I felt inspired that they were so open. I felt more certain about how I was going to start the year. That is, until things began to change. I got in my teacher spiral, the one where you get a little frustrated that class did not operate how you planned. Now we have those class recordings, so there's even more to analyze. I'm from the Caribbean, and in our French patois, we call that catchillaying, spending time thinking about what you could have done differently. Soon, you have 24 to 48 tabs opened on your computer, hoping that it doesn't shut down, and you lose everything as you scour the internet for anything. Do you know what I found? Educators in our district creating document cameras with 3D printers. I saw post after post of our schools doing outreach within our communities. Student councils and their teacher sponsors were donating within the communities. Schools were celebrating their teachers and surprising their students with visits. I saw educators as a driving force behind this change in education. During our district in service, we had many different sessions led by teachers who shared their ideas that you are implementing right now, but may not realize. We do have different challenges this year. And as leaders in our community, we should continue to advocate for all those in our village. We should reinforce what it means to be part of a village where the children are well. It is part of who we are. We are a group of professionals, community members, parents, students who do not see barriers to learning but alternatives. Quite often, our perspectives are the ones missing from decisions that affect our students and ourselves. We should ask questions, seek changes, and voice concerns over educational issues. Share that by voting, being aware of policies within our district, and embracing opportunities such as the Teacher of the Year to help make changes in our different teacher forums. We need to advocate for all of our social emotional well-being. We are not separate entities side by side, but hand in hand, knowing that whenever we succeed, we will pull the other person along too. The strength of a village is that we not only advocate for ourselves, but we advocate knowing that we are greater than the sum of our parts. Throughout the year, I remind the students about our class creed and their excellence, that it's about giving their best and that can change day to day. Of course, there are the students who assume that this means that their excellence means perfection. They add pressure to themselves to give me what they think I want. That pressure makes them suppress their imaginations. As a teacher whose class thrives on individuality, project-based learning, and inquiry, that is the complete opposite of what I expect. This past spring and coming into this year, I have felt more like those students. The continuous pressure, real or perceived, meant I had to perfect my excellence. However, during those moments, we need to take a step back and realize that we do not have to be perfect. And as one teacher said, we may need some hand-holding. Our district and principals have been there for that. They have been supportive once they know where we need help. Our principals are assisting in classrooms, district officials and staff are helping out at schools, doing community outreach, or just supporting games and events. At schools, many of our faculty and staff are working together to provide our students with exceptional educational experience. At Muller Road, we use the motto, One Team, One Direction. At Summit, it's all about the Eagle Pride. Regardless of where we are working together, advocating for one another and our students. It is what makes this district premier. This culture may look different depending on where we are, but I heard it when I spoke to the first-year teacher. I remembered the excitement in her voice, her eagerness to be a part of our community of educators, and I heard her when she said that she's enjoying her first year. It's even permeated throughout homes when I hear students excitedly talk about their favorite class, or when principals share how parents are willing to give a helping hand in any way that we need. That culture is evident when teachers are enhancing student experiences by having them interact with other learners from the Philippines. When I observed a teacher's virtual classroom, I was inspired to implement so many things that she had done, even though she did not think she had taught her best that day. Our culture is our habits that always showcase our excellence, even on the days we didn't think we were. It looks like my student Carolina greeting me with a smile in every Google Meet. Excellence is greeting a student, teacher, or parent in public by name, even though all you see are their eyes. We are already excellent because these are our habits. These are the things we repeatedly do. Whether education is your mission or the profession you chose, you are doing much better than you realize. So when you start to catchulate in your doubt, do what I ask my students to do. Go back to our creed and that who are you activity. To the experienced and experiencing who feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unheard, you have been practicing these habits for a while. This is your excellence. To the newcomer to our village, welcome to Richland 2. And don't fret, take the time to start creating your habits now. And if it takes you a while to build those habits, it is okay. No one has put a time limit on habit making. Trust me, I've checked. Whatever you're doing now, this is your excellence. Someone put it perfectly on Twitter the other day. We know we can do it. At this time, we may need a hand to hold, so reach out. We need the time to check in with one another. How are you doing? To have someone actively listen, sometimes without fixing, and to advocate for one another, because it's probably in those times that we will find an opportunity to defy our expectations and to be excellent.
Welcome to what will soon be the new home for the Center for Knowledge North. This safe, state-of-the-art facility, along with many other facility improvements, was made possible by the strong support of our community, who approved the bond referendum in 2018. As of June 30th, $59 million, or 13% of the bond referendum total, has been spent. Of that $59 million, 17% has been awarded to women and minority-owned businesses. I'm especially proud to report that the district's debt service millage rate has not increased since our bond referendum passed in November of 2018. This is good news for taxpayers in Richland School District 2. In the 2 years since voters approved the bond referendum, we've made a lot of progress on the facility improvements throughout our district. Work is underway on all three of our complete rebuilds: Bethel Hanbury Elementary, E.R. Wright Middle, and the Center for Knowledge North. In Forest Lake Elementary, 17 secure entry projects have been completed, with 4 more to be completed over winter break. The addition and renovation at Blythewood High School are well underway, along with the construction of new stadiums at Richland Northeast High School and Ridgeview High School. Clear touch panels have been installed in a majority of our classrooms. These technology devices have proven very useful in the delivery of virtual instruction in Richland 2. For a complete list of all the projects and details of our progress, visit the district's website at richland2.org/facilities. Now it's time to enjoy some student entertainment, which is always a highlight of our State of the District address. So sit back and enjoy the talents of the students from L.W. Conda Arts Integrated Magnet.
If we fall out, brethren, we go all out. We will never watch the family, them fathers sprawl out. From everywhere we crawl out, we ready to brawl out. Fire burn our friends, family, we ball out. We jump in with the family, with the family. When we come to we mash up and turn up dance, we like a army. Cause everybody jump it up together, jump it up together, mash it up together.
Before wrapping up the State of the District address, I wanted to return to a school to tell you about another important classroom initiative, Premier 100. And it's no secret that right now less than 2% of teachers nationwide are minority males, while the percentage of students of color continue to rise across the country. This is staggering data addressing the immediate need for minority males serving in the classrooms as teachers, mentors, and role models. While Richland 2 is above the national average at 6% of minority male educators, we are working hard to not only recruit, but to develop and retain this important class of educators. Now let's take a moment to hear about the importance of this program for some future educators.
Part of that development includes building partnerships with organizations such as Call Me Mr.
The Call Me Mr. program is a program that molds and recruit and train African American males to become teachers in the public schools.
We are all minority men who have the passion and drive to be teachers, and with the lack of our, what's the word for it? The lack of our acknowledgement, I guess, we need to be heard. We need to be helping.
Call Me Mr. and Premier 100 have similar goals. Richland School District 2 invited Call Me Mr. to allow recruits to visit schools. The process serves a couple of purposes. It allows college students the opportunity to visit the district while school is in session. They meet HR representatives, principals, and even the superintendent. And it is an opportunity for the district to meet specific teacher candidates. Richland 2 uses Premier 100 as a quest. It is indeed a recruiting tool, a tool to attract certain recruits in an area many are far too familiar. Many of them have been educated without reasonable exposure to male and/or minority male teachers throughout their primary and secondary education.
I only had one black teacher and she was a female, but other than that, no sir.
Did you have any male teachers?
I had a couple male teachers here and there, but that's only in high school. I only had, from elementary to high school, I had about 3 or 4 male teachers, and I think one taught actual content. The others were related arts.
I was one of, if I remember right, 6 black kids in elementary school. And along with that, there was one male teacher, and it was the gym teacher, of course. And from that age, growing up into middle and high school is still the same exact thing for the entire time. So I decided that our presence as minority men and just men in general in a classroom is important. And it's something I decided to pursue with my life.
So I feel like everybody needs a role model to look up to. So with me growing up, I never felt like I had like that male role model in the school system, aside from my fathers and my older brothers. Like I never felt like I had that, person over me.
Premier 100 addresses an issue known as cultural relevant pedagogy, a necessity to have teachers who look like and may have had similar experiences as their students. Basically, the lack of male teachers, and particularly minority male teachers, works as a disadvantage to male and minority male students in the classroom.
You don't have the proper role model to look up to, so you grow up with what we usually have, sadly, with black boys being the ones who are persecuted in the community, persecuted in schools. They get kicked out of class all the time, and that's just something that shouldn't happen. And we should be like the rest of the other students in the class who have their role models with them.
I know a girl in Baltimore, little Liza Jane.
The effort through Premier 100 is working to equalize classroom experiences, and the process starts with our own students. Through the Teacher Cadet Program, Richland 2 develops and tracks its students that have chosen the education career pathway. The effort helps identify and retain all teacher candidates, particularly the homegrown Premier 100.
Richland 2 gave me the outlook on everything because I was a teacher cadet also. Without being a teacher cadet, I feel like I wouldn't be in education. But with that program, it was a very good outlook and a very good hands-on experience for me to understand why exactly I wanted to become a teacher. The interview process already started for me. Ever since I graduated from high school and ever since I started going to Winthrop, the interview process already started. I really am thankful for it, and I know with me being able to have this opportunity, many others will too.
Hello again. We are very close to wrapping up the 2020 State of the District Address. You may have realized that for the past several years, we've held the State of the District during American Education Week, just like we are doing this year. Our district is wrapping up a week-long celebration around the theme of Together, we set the stage for success. This is the third time I have delivered the State of the District since becoming superintendent. For the last 2 years, I have emphatically announced that the State of the District is strong. Again this year, I'm proud to say that the district is strong and getting stronger. However, in light of our current situations and circumstances, I feel compelled to say more than just that. This year, more than any other year, we have been tested, and in response, we have demonstrated our capacity for unity in spite of our differences of opinion. We've shown the capacity for innovation, flexibility, and perseverance. Thank you for walking along our pathway to premier with us and for helping us make Richland 2 the district of choice where every school is an excellent choice. Stay well, and we will see you soon.